Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Packers had another practice today. That's right. They were back out there on the practice field. Many of them riding the bikes to practice. Camp somewhat still going, though officially they broke camp last week. They are out of the hotel and living at home, but camp continues on the practice field. A couple practices both today and tomorrow before they leave for Denver and a joint practice with the Broncos, and then obviously the preseason game on Sunday night. Want to go through a couple notes, the proceedings today. I think the inside backer group is probably the headline here because, man, they do not have a ton to work with. They have Walker and Hopper not participating in team. Both are at practice and participating in individual stuff, but not doing teamwork. Edgerrin Cooper remains out, which gave more opportunities to Raylan Goforth, who I think you'll remember was very active on Saturday in Cleveland against the Browns. But with, again, another practice coming up and a joint practice and a game, they're very thin at inside backer, which means they've signed Chris Russell, an inside backer from Texas A&M, an undrafted free agent, a basic body for them to get through practice, if nothing else. Maybe he's seen some snaps in the preseason game, depending on who's up and down. But running out of bodies there, they had to kind of fortify the position. But look, hey, it's next man up. And those invaluable reps from Goforth and other guys way down the depth chart, who knows? You might shake out a diamond in the rough. Always a possibility. One other development on the defensive side of the ball, it's interesting to watch Javon Bullard continue to get snaps with the first team opposite Xavier McKinney. Now, I know Matt LaFleur, prior to practice, said don't pay any attention to the depth charts. We all know they don't mean anything. But it has been, going on a week now. I want to say almost 10 days where every single practice, and including Saturday's game, Bullard has been with the ones at the start. Now, that said, interesting moment. If you're reading the tweets from practice like I am, you'll notice there was a connection from Jordan Love to Jaden Reed between Javon Bullard and Xavier McKinney that apparently caught Bullard out of position. It's the kind of play, essentially a big play, that maybe gets Evan Williams an opportunity to get out there with the ones. Now, I think obviously Williams has been playing quite a bit, going kind of rotating with Bullard, but that's the kind of play that maybe the coaching staff says, hey, let's give Williams a shot here, or a little bit more of a shot with the ones than we've been giving him. Also mentioning deep balls, Jordan Love hit another apparent bomb to Christian Watson for about 50 yards. Watson skying up over Stokes in coverage for a big 50-yard gain. I've mentioned this on Twitter. I think we talked about it yesterday on Daily. I mean, that is a consistent theme here in this kind of early goings on of 2024, where we have seen Jordan Love very consistently hitting on a number of deep shots each and every practice. Seemingly every single practice I was at in Green Bay, every time, and I'm not exaggerating, every time they saw cover one pre-snap and Watson was on the backside, singled up, usually against Stokes, it was almost automatic. You knew they were going to go deep. And Jordan hit Watson almost every single time. And he's hit, whether it's Reed, Wicks, Watson, etc., he's hit on these deep shots with way more regularity than he did last summer. It is very noticeable. I know Jordan was asked about it today in the locker room. You might want to check that out if you get a chance over at Packers.com. But it's something that obviously we saw it Saturday with the big shot to Wicks. It's clear that he has spent the summer and the offseason working on this because starting to see the results on the practice field and, again, on game day. Speaking of quarterbacks, Sean Clifford started the practice with the twos, threw a couple of interceptions, and then Michael Pratt ended the practice a couple team periods with the twos. Now, you can make of that what you will. We'll see how things shake out tomorrow at practice, but this could be Pratt's opportunity to try and make a move. Again, it's one practice, but Clifford, we all saw early in camp, was certainly struggling with turning the ball over, seemingly kind of righted that ship the last week or so, and then played a clean game in Cleveland. But I would think that probably indicates that the coaching staff's patience is wearing a little thin as far as turnovers go. We'll see, again, how they kind of shake out tomorrow, but it's something to watch because I do think Pratt has the ability as far as just the physical skills, the way he throws the football, the way he reads defenses, his overall acumen when it comes to the game. He's got a shot if he can take advantage of an opportunity like this, if he is given this opportunity. Between practices this week, the joint practice, the preseason game, we'll see if he can kind of grab hold here and run, make a run at this thing. Finally, the kicking, quote unquote, battle. Alex Hale, fresh off the street last week, riding pretty high. I mean, he hasn't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but had been, hitting his kicks at a good clip. Started the day well, hitting his first 4 kicks, and then literally missing his next 4. He ended the day 5 of 9. You got some redemption at the end of practice when Pratt got them into position for a field goal in an end of game situation. But whoo, baby, 4 kicks in a row, all pushed to the right. Yowza. Does anyone want to kick for this team? That's what I would like to know. I know you guys are all about kicking for this team, tackling for this team, throwing bombs, touchdowns for this team. That's what we do. We're about you guys, Packers fans worldwide. Before we get going and get to your comments, give a shout out to our good friends over at Ticket King. That's right. Ticket King, based in Wisconsin since 1992. Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to help you find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last-minute tickets or possible upgrades. They even have a drive-through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, in our app, or indeed in the description of this video. Don't use Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, none of this national nonsense. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s. Ticket King, for all your Packers ticket needs. What's up, fine people? Good to see everyone mixing it up in the comments section. Joe is here. Joe, always here. Joe Mailman, I salute you. You're always among the first each and every day, mixing it up in the comments. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Jason starts us off with a super chat. What's up, Jason? When do we need to start being concerned about Jordan's inconsistency this camp? Or do we need to worry at all? I think you were so worried, Jason, that you mistyped what you were trying to say there. Jordan loves inconsistency? My guy, step away from the computer, go outside and touch some grass. Jordan's fine. Jordan's in the lab. Jordan's working on stuff. He's going to be really good this year. That's about all you need to know. I mean, it is practice. We talking about practice. I mean, are you like going through stats from training camp practice? Because if that's what you're doing, I am begging you to log off just for a little bit. Yes, are there incomplete passes? Are there interceptions? Are there plays that don't work? Yep, 100%. It's practice. The whole reason you're out there is to learn from those mistakes, learn from plays that don't work, and then continue to build your game and develop as a player. That is the reason you practice. Man, y'all just expect MVP play each and every down for a guy's life. Blows me away, man. Jeezy Baby, thanks for the super chat. Happy retirement to Packer legend Tavon Austin. Man, I remember when they signed him. I was very excited. We were going to utilize him in the Tyler Irvin role, and he was going to bust open, and then that just never really occurred, which is just unfortunate. Josh, thanks for the super chat. What do you make of Coach commenting on Sean Ryan needing to improve his conditioning? Seems like another thing keeping him from taking the next step. I do think it's a pointed critique, right? He's not saying that kind of willy-nilly. It's not a shoot from the hip thing. He is certainly trying to make a statement to the young man. I mean, look, if he's going to be able to improve his conditioning, they're certainly working the hell out of him. He was starting at right guard today. Obviously, Jordan Morgan still out, though Morgan did return to practice today. He's still just doing individual stuff. So Ryan was running with the ones at right guard, and he's also been playing backup center and running with the twos at center. So he's certainly getting enough reps, and I do not doubt for a moment Coach is sitting there saying, all right, young man, we need you to be available not only for all these reps we're giving you for practice, but to go the distance in a game. Don't forget, last year, he never really took ownership of that right guard spot, consistently splitting time with Runyon at right guard. So, yeah, I think there's probably some messaging going on there from coach, no question. John FL, thanks for the super chat. Is Joseph still leading the kicker competition in your opinion? Yes. It is just my opinion. It doesn't mean a whole lot, but in my opinion, yes, he is leading it. Now that doesn't mean that, the next couple days things could take a wild turn and maybe he misses a bunch and Carlson's really true and we get into the preseason game and things continue down that road and Carlson takes over the competition. Entirely possible. But right now, yes, I would say Joseph. John Simitovich, what's up, man? Random Packer Chris Jackie, he would kick for this team. Yes, he would. I'll bet he could still go out there and give you a few kicks from a long distance. No doubt about that. Jamal, where is Tyler Irvin? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I know he was a lot of fun in that 2020 season. That's about all I know. Tommy, I can't read this, but just know that your comment is appreciated. That is very funny. Adam, this is a salient question. How many teams actually feel good about where they are at backup tackle? Yeah, not too many. I mean, just look at how the 49ers, if you go back and watch the Sunday night game against the Ravens last year when Williams goes down and how that offensive line absolutely looked pedestrian without him. You know what I mean? Like there are a dearth of, forget tackles, just offensive linemen in the NFL as far as being able to play at a consistently high level in this league. It's we talked I talked about this, I think was it yesterday or last week, about offensive line play and where we're at. Yes, it is a common problem and or concern for most NFL teams. Now that said, it's still something you got to look for. It's not like you just throw up your hands and say, "Oh well, no one can do it. We're not going to do it either." Like the Packers have in plenty of resources, have utilized the draft and obviously a little even dabbled in free agency. They've got to find somebody, and that search continues. What else we got? You practice. Oh, that's good, Gary. You practice plays so they will work during games. It's kind of the idea. Not about it. Ed, thanks for the super chat, man. Kickers allow sports psychologists to make their boat payments. Breathe through your eyelid. Breathe through your eyelid. Isn't that that's a baseball thing, isn't it? Wasn't that Bull Durham? Good stuff, man. Crystal, thank you for the super chat. I'll be in Denver this weekend. Whose performances will you be interested in for this game? Good question. I think, for me, we've talked about the offensive line, right? I want to see everybody along that offensive line playing with better pad level, something we heard from the coaches this week after their struggles in short yardage early in that contest. Certainly want to see the young safeties. Those are the guys I really kind of been fascinated to see how this kind of plays out as far as Williams, Bullard, and Anthony Johnson Jr. He is very much a part of that competition. So one kind of position for each side of the ball. Those are the two I'm definitely going to be most interested in. What else we got? Joe, thanks again, man. Is Ryan's lack of conditioning maybe a big part of the reason why they moved Jordan Morgan strictly to right guard? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you'd have to ask the coaches, but I don't think it was that particularly. I think it's the one spot where they knew they had competition, like a legit possibility to have him in there as a starter. I mean, they've seemed pretty committed to Walker, at least the coaching staff does. And Zach Tom Bombadil, he's Zach Tom, had an outstanding year last year, so it's not like you're going to be replacing him. So I think they found a spot in their heads where, okay, he can at least compete to get on the field right away. And look, when he was coming out of school, when he was coming out of the draft, a lot of people did say he had the positional versatility, or he at least had the makeup to maybe make the change. They certainly seem to be going down that path. I don't think it had much to do with, okay, we got to get him over there because we're worried about Ryan's conditioning. I think they just thought he could be a possible addition to their offensive line and one of their best five. And hey, if you're taking him in the first round, you would think that's a decent possibility, right? What else we got here, folks? Matthew, how are you? How's life across the pond? Hope you're well, man. Evening, Nags. Could we take 7, 8 wide receivers and 4 running backs on the 53? I would be shocked. I think 6 is probably your limit at wide receiver. I would be knocked over with a feather if they kept more than 3 running backs, and I think there's a chance they might just keep 2 and keep the rest on the practice squad. You got to remember, I know, and I say this every summer, and I know you guys kind of roll your eyes when I do it, but it's true. We all worry about, they're going to get picked up or they're going to get claimed on waivers. We've all been burned by the Taysom Hill episode. I understand that. But 99.9% of the time, no one's looking twice at who we cut. And they'll make it through the waivers and they'll be on the practice squad. It's just a reality. There is no world where it would be right for Carlson to make this team. All right, Daniel, relax. Just slow down. Again, we're looking at totality of work, right? We'll see how he responds to the challenges that he's been given. I mean, he did make his kicks on Saturday. I understand everyone's like suddenly worried about style points, but the kicks went through the uprights. And that's what he's asked to do. So we'll see. We'll see how he continues to hopefully progress and build on some success here. Now, I'm not telling tales out of school here. I think Joseph's ahead, but that doesn't mean he'll be ahead still 2 weeks from now. It's all very much a process. When are you going to start reading the new Rodgers book? That's a good question, Brett. If people follow me on Twitter, you saw Ian O'Connor sent me a copy. I am interested in diving in. I think Soder put it well on my response on Twitter. It feels like an off-season book. I really would have liked this book to have come out, in May, and then I could read it over the summer, rather than we're about to embark on a very exciting Packers season. Yeah, I really want to read about Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. I'll probably wait a while. I'm not really chomping at the bit to read and digest all this stuff about Aaron Rodgers at the moment. I mean, Godspeed. I hope he kills it out here in New York, has a successful season. Certainly rooting for him to do so. But diving into most of his life, I'm not really concerned about that. I will say, though, I did open up, and this is true. The very first thing I did was look at the table of contents, and there's a chapter called Brett. I opened right to it and started reading that today. Just a little bit, a couple pages. And then I got busy and I had to put it down. But I am kind of interested in that one window. Rodgers' arrival in Green Bay and whatever relationship he had and still has with Brett. That I'm kind of still interested in. Ryan, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. Matthew Clark, thanks for the super chat, man. Cheers, Nags. Can you recall the last time lost one? The last time lost one. Matthew, I think you're typing too fast, buddy. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say there. Oh, on waivers. Sorry. I think, didn't they lose? I want to say they lost a backup secondary player to the Jaguars, but lost meaning like someone claimed somebody. Like I don't think it was anybody the Packers had plans on bringing back. The last time I think they really lost somebody they did want to bring back on the squad was Taysom Hill, at least from the reporting that's out there. Don Henley said it best. Don't look back. You can never look back. What a song. What a pull, Soder. Well done. Take some ayahuasca before reading. That's not going to happen. Jake, I want to thank you for asking. Yes, as a matter of fact, I most certainly can play the Carry the G song.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
How do you not love that? Jason, you're the man. If you're interested in checking out Jason's work, Jason Fabus, who did that jingle, there's a link in the description of this video to his YouTube channel. He's an amazing musician. He's a huge Packers fan, and I believe he was at practice today with his dad. So dope stuff. Jason's the man. Thanks for asking for the song, because I don't need much push. I don't need much prodding. I love that song. All right. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody there. Okay, good. Guys, I'm going to have to get going early. I have a movie date with my daughters starting at 6:10, so I have to jump and get this all up on the various platforms and then meet them at the movie theater. I thank you so much for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday. It's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.